So I'm going to show you how you can rank any business at the top of the Google search results, and I'm going to give you 14 or 15 points that any business can follow to do it. Now, if you just implement even just a few of these, you're going to outrank your competition pretty quickly, because to be honest with you, most people, most businesses are not implementing this kind of SEO. Local SEO is completely different to traditional SEO that most agencies and most businesses are doing. And it's a completely different way of getting your business to the top. Now, local SEO is the biggest thing that's happened to small business over the past few years, and it's driving so much more traffic than Google Ads or traditional SEO. And I want to show you a graphic tonight that just goes through where people are actually clicking on the map results. So if I do a Google search, let's say electrician Melbourne, for example, the first few listings are going to be your Google Ads, okay? They're going to get around 15 to 20% of the clicks shared between them. Then below that, you've got the Google Snack Pack or the local map results. Now that's where you want to be. Now why do you want to be there? Because that's where 30 to 50% of your customers are clicking. Now, a lot of people don't focus on those local maps, but once you rank there, that's when you experience that surge of new traffic coming in. So if you're running ads and you're getting 5 to 15%, imagine what your business would look like if it doubled or tripled those amount of inquiries. And then below that, you've got the remaining 20 or so %, which is your organic standard kind of listings. But that's actually shared between all the remaining 10 results. So, we've gotten clients that are up in those rankings and those listings, and not much change for the business. It wasn't until we got them into those top 3 map results. Okay, so how do we get there? So the first point is you can hire a Google verified photographer to come out to your business and to do a 360 photo of the interior and exterior of your business, and then get them to upload it to the Google search results into the map listings. Now, what does this actually do? When a Google verified photographer does it, okay, firstly, it shows where that photo was taken, okay, at your address, and then a trusted photographer is uploading it to your Google business, My Business, and that's a trust and ranking factor. We've seen businesses that do this jump 2 or 3 spots instantly the moment you do a verified photography, a 360 a photo. So definitely that's my first point. Hire a photographer, get them out there. They cost around between $400 to $1,000 to get done. So it's a quick and easy process. Now, even if you just operate from home, you can still get a Google verified photographer to come in and take a quick 360 photo of your little office, outside where your vehicle is. Just that is enough. Point number 2 is download the Google My Business app on your phone, log in and take photos of your office, interior and exterior, using the actual app. Now, why do you do this? Okay, so when you take a photo with the app, it has those coordinates attached to the photo, and so Google knows that the person that took this photo was in that location, okay? So you're in that location taking photos, exterior, your staff, interior, really fill out the profile with those longitude and latitude photos within the app. That's a very powerful way, again, to send a signal to Google that this is a verified listing, because you have to be there to take the photo. Point number 3 is you need to generate as many reviews as possible, but from different locations around the region that you want to rank for. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. We had a customer that had 300 to 400 reviews for his business. After he finished each time he serviced a customer, he would in-store get them to leave him a review, okay? And he would basically give them a discount and they would leave a review. And so he got hundreds and hundreds of reviews. But here's the problem. Google thought to itself, well, those reviews are in that one location. So we know that that business is relevant at that one location. But is it relevant 4 suburbs away? And so we advised him what he should do is to, instead of asking for reviews there and then, but to actually let customers go home to their business or their home, send them an email, and then ask them for a review. Now, why do we do this? That tells Google that you are relevant in that map region, okay? So you want all over the city, all over the region, people to be leaving you reviews, so then it shows Google that, hey, you helped the client that came from that area. Okay, you want to rank everywhere, not just in your one little suburb. You want to rank right across. That's where you're going to generate those massive amounts of customers coming through. Now, of course, you have to service that area, but most businesses service the whole city, at least in Australia. So you're going to get less reviews, but they're going to be more valuable to your business. Now, my next point is you want to get as many reviews as possible. Okay, I think that goes without saying. Now, the problem with asking for so many reviews from your customers, sending them to an email link, some businesses are worried that they're going to generate some negative reviews. You've got a handful of, perhaps disgruntled customers, and you're worried about them leaving a negative review, so you don't want to mass email out your whole database. So what do? Okay, what you need to do is create a conditional logic form that pre-filters all of your customers. So you send out a mass email, but instead of sending them directly to the Google link, you send them to a page that has a conditional logic form, okay? Now, on that form, you might have, how would you rate our service on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being great, 0 being terrible, how would you rate us? That'd be the first question. The next question might be, would you recommend us to your friends? Yes or no? Third question might be, if you needed us, would you use us again? Now, if they answer positively to all of those points, when they hit that submit button, we redirect them to your Google My Business, and then we ask them for a 5-star review. If they answer negatively on any of those points, we just send them to a place where they can leave their feedback, and the form gets submitted to you so you can handle the query, handle the problem. But it doesn't air your dirty laundry out for everybody to see. You actually deal with it internally. And then you're able to freely put it on your email signatures. You're able to send it out automatically to all your clients at the end of each time you've helped someone, or you've finished offering your product or service. You're able to get those massive amounts of reviews. So that's a really important step. And if you want us to build you one of these forms, we're actually doing them for free at the moment, where we will build you a conditional logic form totally free of charge, and you can just have a lot of peace of mind when you send your customers to leave you a review. Step number 5, you need to reply to all of your reviews. So there's a lot of data that suggests that if you don't reply to your review, it doesn't count as a plus on your profile. So every time someone leaves a review, just hop in there and just thank them for using your product or service, and just reply. You could use some keywords, don't overdo it, but just make sure every single review is replied to. It's super simple to do. It also shows Google that you're engaging with your customers on a regular basis, so that's really important to do that. The next point is, a lot of people, they actually are cheating in a sense on the Google local listings. And what they do is they put their business name as the service that they're offering. And the problem with that is that Google actually at the moment has a biased view to that name of the business, because it knows that you have to only put one name in. And so just when Google search first started, there's this kind of glitch in their system that if you actually put your keyword as your business name, you'll pretty quickly rank at the top of those results just based on that. Now, the problem, if you try to do this for yourself, it's very easy to be banned off of Google. Okay, and that's the worst thing that can happen to your business. Or at the very least, you'll just have it edited back. So what you want to do is go through, type in your service that you offer. Again, let's use the electrician, Melbourne. And we're going to go through those results, and you'll see that other people have not actually put their business name as the actual listing title. So you can just suggest an edit, and you can edit the actual name of the business, and usually within a few days, Google will take your edit, look into it, and then adjust their listing and de-rank them further down. Now, it's not going to penalize them, but it is going to make sure that the search results remain fair, accurate, and it's going to automatically push you higher because your competitors are obviously ranking lower. Point number 7, you need to make sure that your NAP, your name, address, and phone number is accurate across the entire web. Now, there's lots of programs you can use, Bright Local and other ones, White Spark, to check this, but you need to make sure that your business name, your address, and your phone number are exactly, I mean with the right commas, making sure it says road or street is spelled RD or ROAD exactly the same, and it has to match your Google listing. It's got to be the same. If there's any discrepancies, Google's algorithm struggles to deal with that and will not account that as what we call a citation. Citations are a good thing. You want to get as many citations, your name, address and phone number, on as many other websites as possible, but they've got to be accurate. So you can use a program like Bright Local, and you can type in your business name and address, and you can run a search, and it will find all the inaccurate search results, and you can go through and fix them. So when you're submitting your business to these directories and other areas that you can put your name, address and phone number, NAP, you want to make sure that in the description part that you put a unique paragraph piece of content. A lot of people make the mistake by going to their About Us page, copying and pasting into the area, into the directory, and that's a big problem. You're going to be de-indexed straight away. The page isn't going to count for Google, and there's absolutely no point to submitting a listing that has just copied and paste text. So that's a complete waste of time. You want to make sure you write a unique paragraph of content for each one of those listings. Okay, point number 8. You can submit your site to press releases. Now, what are press releases? Press releases are essentially something, it could be a quick article you could get a copywriter to write up, and it's just talking about your product or service and something that's perhaps newsworthy. Now, it doesn't need to be groundbreaking, front of the papers newsworthy, but it does need to be something that would interest people, and then you can get it published across all of the syndicated news sites. You can have people pick it up, people may choose to publish it, and it's just another great way to get more backlinks to your website, and these sites are looking for this kind of content. Now remember, every time you submit one of these articles, you want to make sure your name, address and phone number is in them, because this will also count as a citation. A lot of people don't realize that with these press releases, you can use them as actual citations to get that citation count up as high as possible. Because again, you know, what we're trying to do is show Google that there's so many websites that are referencing you, and not just referencing you, but they're referencing your address, your name, address and phone number. And you also want to include a link directly to your Google My Business page. And again, that's going to show Google that this listing is an accurate, well-used listing. Okay, so point number 9. A lot of people don't realize that Microsoft has their own version of the Google My Places, My Business, and it's called Bing Places. Now, although Bing and Microsoft is a competitor to Google, Google really trusts anything that Microsoft puts out, okay? So the exact same way you submit a site to Google My Business, you can do the exact same thing with Bing Places. And this is, again, just going to give you another listing, show Google that your business is a legitimate business, it's been verified again by another company, and again, it's all about just building that trust and building that rapport with the Google search algorithm. Point number 10, you can submit your site to event websites like Eventbrite, and there's a whole host of other sites. Now, why are you going to do this? Okay, so big brands, they host events. Okay, and you want to, as much as possible, create, even if it's an event that you think no one's ever going to show to. Now, obviously, you want to try to get people to show up to, but it's not really the point. The point here is showing Google that there is an event on. It's got your name, again, address and phone number, so it's another opportunity to get your name, address and phone number. Another one is meetup.com, and again, you're just trying to get your citations, your name, address and phone number. And if your product or service is interesting to people and you are running an event that people may actually come to, look, it's just a great opportunity to sell your product or service. But it's really, you know, we're just trying to show Google that you're a legitimate business running legitimate events at your actual premises. So point number 11 is you can register your business with different map applications, and one of them is called Waze. Now, if you don't know what Waze is a Google-owned, like a Google Maps essentially, where it can show you different and better routes when you're driving to avoid traffic and other problems that are on the road, and a whole host of other things. You can advertise on there, so if your business is relevant to people driving home, you can advertise on there. But when you download the Waze app, the unique thing about Waze is you have to actually take photos at your location within the Waze app and walk by your physical premises in order for your listing to be approved. And Google obviously owns this company and trusts your company a lot more once it's actually been approved, because you physically had to go to that location. Because you've got to remember, there's a lot of spam websites out there that have got spam listings and they don't have physical addresses, and Google's trying to make sure that every listing on their platform is authentic, trusted and used by the general public. So Waze is a huge opportunity. In fact, we've seen listings jump several spots just by launching into the Waze app and creating a listing in there. So Waze is definitely something that you should consider doing. It's totally free to do. So point number 12 is when you submit videos to YouTube, in the description, you've got another opportunity on a Google-owned platform to put your name, address, and phone number. Now, a lot of people have grown accustomed to putting links, okay? And that's still good to do, but it's a great opportunity to get your name, address, and phone number, your NAP in there as well. It's a video that people will watch because YouTube just gets so many views so quickly. You can put up any video, you're going to get at least 30 to 100, sometimes thousands of views. So you're going to get some people viewing your services there. You can put a link to your Google map, not just to your website, but again, put that name, phone number, and address, a NAP. Super important, another opportunity to do it. A lot of people miss it. Every time your company publishes a video, make sure you've got the NAP. It's just as important as putting a link back to your website. Okay, point number 13. Once you've created all of these different profiles and listings, you want to create a page on your website. Now, perhaps it's not on the home page, obviously, but you should put it perhaps on a sub-page and put links to every single one of your profiles. Then in the footer of your website, you want to link to that page so you get some authority to it from the home page. So on that page, you're going to list, your YouTube video, your YouTube channel, perhaps your Bing places, your Yelp listing, every social profile that has an address on it, you want to link to on that page. Now, why do you do this? Well, a lot of those profiles can be de-indexed or not indexed at all by Google. And so by linking to it from your website, you're going to firstly create a connection between your website and those profiles, but more importantly, get indexed by Google and actually get credit and authority from those actual profiles. So that's something that a lot of people do miss as well, is actually get it. You can submit a profile. That doesn't mean Google's seen it. That doesn't mean Google's indexed it, and it doesn't mean that Google trusts it. But when you link to it from a website that's already got other links coming into it, that's telling Google that those profiles are trusted, they're genuine, the actual proper or authentic site is linking back to those profiles, so we know those profiles are accurate. And essentially what we're doing is creating a network of social media sites all talking about your brand, your business, but more importantly, linking back to your GMB, your Google My Business listing, and your NAP, your name, address, and phone number. Point number 14, submit your site to employment portals. Again, when you publish a job, you're looking for new staff, you want to use that as an opportunity to publish your name, address, and phone number, okay? And you also want to, again, link to your Google My Business profile. It's another site. They're often trusted sites, highly trusted site. They're often highly used websites because people are often looking for jobs. There's a huge influx of people looking for jobs even right now. And they're going to type your business name in, they're going to click on that Google My Business link and go straight to your profile. That's going to register to Google that you've got people from that website clicking on that link going to your profile. The more users, actual real users you can have doing that, it's going to raise the awareness in Google's mind of that profile. Okay, so my final point is you want to email your clients or your staff. When they're coming to your business location, you want to email them the directions link. Okay, now why do you want to do that? If you get your clients using a directions link, Google, preferably they're using Google Maps, most people are, they're starting from their location, their suburb, and getting directions all the way to your business, and Google knows. So Google knows when people are coming to your business, they know when they've arrived, okay? And that's telling Google that people, real people, are going to your business on a regular basis. And if your ratio of people doing that is higher than your competitors, what does that tell Google? That tells Google that more people are interested in your brand, your business, your services, and they want to give people the best results. So of course that's going to help. In fact, we've run tests where we've actually manipulated that. we've actually seen we've gotten a whole range of different phones all together and all done the directions from all across the city and all came down in one location, and that within a matter of hours increased the rankings for that business. Now it did drop off over time as soon as Google could see that no one was sort of interested. We created this fake buzz around the company just for a test, but it goes to show that Google definitely wants to rank businesses that are trending and people are interested in. They want the best results for their clients. So guys, I hope that's been helpful for you. If you implement these tactics, they are going to help your business. There are literally hundreds of more things you can do to outrank your competition, but if you focus on these points, you're really going to outrank them and do a lot better in your Google search results. So if you want help with your SEO, hit us up at boldseo.com.au and we'd be happy to see if we can help you. But thanks very much for listening. Really appreciate it.
Thanks very much for that, Sam. That's really helpful advice. And I've actually got a few questions from our audience. I've got the first question here is from Sarah in Sydney, and she asks, what's the difference between local SEO and traditional SEO?
So most people are doing traditional SEO, a lot of link building. Local SEO is different because what we're trying to do is rank your business right across the entire city. A lot of people don't know that your rankings vary depending on where the searcher is. So if your searcher is a few suburbs away from your business, or even the other side of the city, you're probably not going to rank for the terms he's looking for. But if he were to search directly in your suburb, you probably rank number one because you're so close. But what we're trying to do with local maps and local SEO is rank your business right across the whole grid. And that's where you're going to see those massive amounts of traffic and those massive amounts of customer conversions. And that's local SEO. It's completely different to traditional SEO.
Okay, so the second question comes from Craig in Sydney, and he asks, how can a business rank for a keyword right across the map grid when they are in only one location or suburb?
Again, it comes down to showing Google that in those other areas you are actually relevant. Now you can actually create route maps inside of Google that actually show different ways of getting to your business. So you can actually create multiple maps inside of Google. That's one technique that you can use in order to show that you're relevant in different suburbs and different areas. But the biggest one is getting people in those areas to leave you a review. This could come down to site structure as well. So for instance, if your site is mentioning some of these different suburbs that the searcher is searching for, then that's also going to show Google that you're relevant to that topic, relevant to that location. One of the best ways to think about what suburbs and what text you should include on your site or even on your Google My Business listing is to do a Google search for your city area and just see what Google determines as the most popular suburbs or what it bolds out. So if you do a Google search, perhaps we can bring up a map on the screen, you'll see that you've actually got, let's do Melbourne, you've actually got different suburbs that are highlighted and Google's giving priority over the other suburbs. Now, they're not necessarily the suburbs that you and I would pick, but they're suburbs that Google determines to be relevant to that region. You want to make sure you include those keywords in your website and try to get reviews from those regions, and the chances are is you're going to rank for the other suburbs that are surrounding that main suburb. So in Sydney it could be Parramatta, and then you're going to rank for all the rest of them around it, not just the Sydney CBD area.
Okay, so third question comes from Anthony in Sydney, and he asks, does a business with multiple locations need a website for each location in order to rank in the map pack?
We're getting another one from Sydney, are we? Okay, no worries. All right, so the answer is no. What you do need is separate location pages that link specifically to that Google My Business listing. So you want to have a separate page on your website for each location you have. Under each location, you're going to want to have the services that you offer as well. So you want to have a siloed approach, but no, you don't need a separate website, but you do need a separate page that links back to that Google My Business listing.
Okay, so the next question comes from Maria in Brisbane, and she asks, does your local SEO strategy work for an e-commerce website who has no physical location?
If you don't have a physical location, this doesn't work. So you need to have an actual location that your business is in. You can have e-commerce too, that's irrelevant. So we do work for florists and they're going to have e-commerce, but they have physical locations. If you don't have a physical location, you've got absolutely no chance. But if you think about that, that's a huge advantage for small business. That's why this is such an opportunity for business to jump on, because global brands that don't have local presence in your city or in your region can't compete with you.
Okay, so the last question comes from Sandra in Perth, and she asks, where do you see Google search heading in the next 5 years?
So Google's has been and is always going to continue heading in the direction of what's best for users. So they're really focused on how, what are your reviews like? Who's reviewing you? Your website speed. Speed's a really important one actually. Google's really losing the app battle against Apple. So they've been really pushing progressive web apps. They want your website to act like an app, it to be really fast, really quick, highly functional. So if users are coming to your site and they're spending time there, it's a good experience. That's definitely where Google's headed. You can see that they're really pushing those fast websites. They're pushing secure websites, SSL certificates, those kinds of basic things came in a couple of years ago. That's all preliminary to getting a progressive web app, and we're pushing more and more towards not having to download apps, but just have apps that are instant on the browser and function just as smoothly, just as quick. As user metrics, it's got to be about those reviews, how much time they're spending, how much traffic is coming through those other profiles and your online digital network. And Google with their new AI is going to be tracking all of that as well. So yeah, it's definitely all about how users, think about your users, your customers, how they're interacting with your business, not so much about an actual search engine. So yeah. Okay guys, I hope that's been helpful for you. Again, if you want us to help you out with your SEO, you want to rank at the top of Google, you want us to do it for you, and then hit us up at boldseo.com.au and we'd be happy to help. I'll be at the back later on to answer any of your questions that any of you might have. But yeah, it's been great. Thanks very much guys. Have a great evening. Catch you later. Thank you.